Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rare, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Kornabuan, Papua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Makanisi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in Ba.
Bula, my name is Tisa. I love listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, FRA relooks at materials being used for roadworks. Need to regulate social media, says human rights body.
Good reason why.
And nursing hopefuls told to meet standards.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The Fiji Roads Authority is relooking at the material currently being used for roadworks around the country. FRA says the increasing number of potholes has made them relook at what is the best way forward to avoid the further deterioration of our roads and have identified Fiji's climate as a major obstacle for material being presently used. Sainani Boiler reports.
FRA is currently working on testing various combinations to find the best material for Fijian roads.
We endeavour to use the best possible material that we can, suited to the conditions that we have in Fiji. Now, there's an ongoing program of research and development that we do through our contractors, where we experiment with some different types and combinations of the emulsifiers to see whether we get better results.
Hutchinson is confident they will soon be able to come up with a solution to withstand Fiji's changing weather patterns.
Yes, the materials that we use is under constant monitoring, and we assess the effectiveness of those materials. The challenge for us is to ensure that we get the best possible solution.
There's a lot of pothole. FRU needs to look at road structure.
Should have tassels where heavy tassels where the rain and everything will avoid the potholes.
There are a lot of potholes on the road, and I think FRA is really not working well.
According to Hutchinson, Ashfalt hot mix was one of the best mixtures. However, it poses a threat to the environment and has occupational health and safety risks. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Fiji's human rights watchdog is suggesting it's time to hold people accountable for hate speech and discrimination of social media. Ashwin Raj, the Director for Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination, was on FBC TV's For the Record last night and called for state action on what he describes as a growing problem.
Social media commentary has got Fiji's Human Rights Director worried about what could happen if things go unchecked.
The state needs to start seriously thinking about the whole notion of discrimination in the social media.
Ashwin Raj says it's up to experts to figure out how people can continue to enjoy their liberties without going out of control. There have been numerous attacks on individuals based on gender, ethnicity and religion on social media.
We need to develop robust jurisprudence and freedom of expression, and we need to start thinking about how we're going to regulate our conduct on the social media without, producing a chilling effect.
I think the government should monitor it because it can lead to a person committing suicide.
Yes, government should look into this.
The Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission wants people to understand that it's dangerous to let individuals say whatever they want without any checks and balances.
Freedom of expression is not about, hate speeches. It is about responsible speeches.
This afternoon, the National Federation Party has responded to last night's show where Ashwin Raj called for the regulation of social media. The NFP is calling on Ashwin Raj to resign as the Director for Human Rights and as the Chair for the Media Industry Development Authority because of his comments last night. However, the real irony here are the comments which are coming up on the NFP Facebook page. Supporters of the party are calling Ashwin Raj a moron and a jerk. Some are calling him Mr. Baldhead. Others are even swearing at him. These are the very issues which Ashwin Raj highlighted last night, the very reason behind him calling for the regulation of social media and for people to be responsible about what they post and how they post on Facebook, for example. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
Edwin Nunn joins us live now. Edwin, could you please explain by what Ashwin Raj means when he says regulating social media?
It's important for Fijians to understand that freedom of speech and expression under the Constitution don't condone hate speech, racial discrimination. Even defaming an individual is libelous. Ashwin Raj isn't talking about curbing these constitutional provisions for speech and expression. He's calling for people to stay within the bounds of the law, to talk about the issues instead of attacking individuals, to generally be responsible citizens. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Edwin. Students have racked up millions of dollars in debts to the Tertiary Scholarship Loans Board in just 3 years. TSLB Chair Dixon Sito says they're trying to recoup the money, but many have absconded overseas with little chance of ever paying back what they owe. Shireen Shivan reports.
The Tertiary Scholarship Loans Board is in a tight spot, with the students having taken advantage of taxpayers' money and failed to pay it back.
If you want to migrate, then you're obviously thinking about greener pasture elsewhere. But we want you to stay. But if you really want to go, then you have to pay us back.
The board has had to make some tough decisions and has put students on notice that any termination of a scholarship or loan will require students to repay 200% of amount spent by the TSLB. Backlash has been swift, students saying it's unfair. However, board chair Dixon Sito says it's justifiable.
It's taxpayers' money. So we need to make sure that the taxpayers' money is used properly. It's a public's money. And then eventually that money gets repaid so that the government don't have to keep spending the money. So it's like a revolving fund.
If a student has absconded overseas, the TSLB will make guarantors pay double the amount. Sito says a number of people have been creating mischief and spreading lies about the TSLB following the announcement. These have been forwarded to police for investigation. Sito says the decision is in line with the TSLB Decree 2014 and with government policies. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
13 people were charged with a total of 25 separate sexual incidents in March alone. According to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, there were 20 rape offences and 5 cases of sexual assault. There were 13 victims of the 25 separate incidents, of which 5 victims were under the age of 18 years. There were 3 incidents where the victims were related to the accused persons. Of these 3, there were 1 incident where the accused is a 37-year-old father and the victim was his 11-year-old daughter. Meanwhile, there were 4 cases withdrawn after discontinuances were filed, and there was 1 incident of a false complaint from the victim. Still to come, nursing body lays down the rules. And a first for Fiji as Broadway production underway.
हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन तापुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन तापुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तावरा में रहता है, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम इज वेरी हॉट।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Every nursing graduate has to sit for registration exams before being allowed to practice in the country. The head of Fiji Nursing says it's critical for graduates to fulfill the registration process and standards that's dictated by the regulatory body, the Fiji Nursing Council. Savara Tamboa has more.
The Nursing Council regulates the nursing practice of any country and is focusing on the 2 main objectives, which is the safety of the public and the safety of the nursing practice. And the new would-be nurses need to meet all standards in place.
If they fail the registration examination, they are allowed 2 supplementary. After 6 weeks, we provide the supplementary exams. If they fail that, they can sit supplementary exam number 2. So if they fail the second supplementary, they have to await the next year's registration exams.
Head of school at the Fiji National University, Alisi Wundiniambola, says they are currently reviewing courses offered for the student nurses.
Right now we are trying to review our courses and make sure that we meet what the higher education framework requires us to meet within the courses that are offered at FNU. So the scope of practice will meet or will probably guide us in a way to meet the general medical, surgical, nursing component.
Under the Nursing Decree 2011, every student nurse has to pass registration exams divided into two categories, practical and written theory. A total of 2,800 nurses are currently working in the country. Sabara Tambua, FBC News.
Minister for Trade and Tourism Fayaz Koya declined to comment on the statements of interference made by the former CEO for the biosecurity of Fiji, Xavier Khan. Khan resigned last week with immediate effect, saying interference and obstruction from the ministry meant he was unable to execute his work. Responding to queries from the press today, Koya brushed off any need for further discussion on the matter. The Fiji Corrections Service is awaiting the post-mortem results to determine the cause of the death of one of its inmates. 56-year-old Rudra Maharaj collapsed on Thursday morning while working in the vegetable garden at the pre-release centre in Namboro. He was rushed to the Lami Health Centre but was pronounced dead on arrival. Maharaj was serving a sentence of 4 years 11 months and was expected to be released in 2020. His family was informed immediately about his untimely passing. Fiji's first ever Broadway-style production is underway with a cast of local singers and dancers. American producers are here to conduct rehearsals with students from the University of the South Pacific, allowing locals access to international standard training. Kelly Vadalo reports.
Broadway is popular live theatre performance in New York, said to be the highest level of commercial theatre in the English-speaking world. Now students at USP get first-hand experience of what it's like.
These particular students have never done anything like this. They're used to Pacific Island specific dances and music. It's connecting the artists of Fiji with something that is really American.
It's a huge step towards, combining the cultural exchange with the American Embassy, but also for developing our arts in Fiji, because talent is amazing, as you know.
United States Ambassador to Fiji Judith Sefkin says this is another way of strengthening ties between Fiji and America.
A good way to further strengthen our connections, our bonds of friendship between the United States and the people of Fiji and the Pacific. And, art really transcends national boundaries.
Students are also excited to learn about theatrical performances, although one thing is clear, a lot of work goes into it.
It's a good experience to learn from other people that is coming from overseas, and they taught us so much. First time for me to do Broadway, it's very challenging, but it's coming around and we're adapting slowly.
About 30 participants, both dancers and singers, will acquire new performing skills and better knowledge of the Broadway repertoire. The group will perform their musical act here in USP next week Thursday. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The biggest creative arts events for high schoolers, the Kula Awards, was launched today with the promise to be bigger and better. In its 12th year, the Film of Fiji event allows students to participate in 3 streams, including film, which falls into 2 categories, as well as dance and an art competition. The 6-month program has been responsible for developing the audiovisual industry across the country and will culminate with an awards show in July.
The Kula Awards, ladies and gentlemen, has grown from strength to strength and has become an important extracurricular creative arts avenue for schools in Fiji, and the competition has successfully grown. We've got 24 schools registered already for the competition in the film, dance and art streams, and we still are waiting for others to come in as they've all shown interest to register.
And later on in sports, we take a look at the newest school for the Fiji finals. But next up is Rachel with business.
Yes, Jackie, coming up in business tonight. Positive outlook for Fijian economy. And in growing Fiji, New World opens newest outlet in Suva. Stay with us.
I'm Rafnil from Nekota and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Stanley Girdler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Watraki, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune into Today FM in Nasalai Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inai Ali and I'm from Ba, and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from La Paz. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto, and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In Business Tonight, Fiji's growth outlook for this year remains positive thanks to upbeat performances in tourism, remittances and the construction sector. RBF Governor Barry Whiteside says domestic demand continues to be resilient as reflected in net VAT collections, vehicle sales and registration and new bank lending. A survey last December shows businesses are optimistic of improved economic conditions, higher investments and sales over the next 12 months. The global economy is expected to pick up this year, boost exports, visitor arrivals and personal remittances. The year-end inflation forecast is now expected to be around 3%. A group of emerging women entrepreneurs from Fiji are participating in a workshop with an aim to expand into bigger markets. These women had traveled to Ciputra Institute in Indonesia in 2015 to broaden their skills, and a delegation is now in the country to assist these women strive further. These women have opened up their own nurseries and tailoring shops and now earn a living for themselves. A number of increased activities noted on the South Pacific Stock Exchange last week. Here's Elizabeth from HFC Bank with the details.
Yes, Rachel. Last week, the SPSC trading platform saw gains posted by Fijian Holdings Limited or FHL and Fiji Care Insurance Limited or FIL shares. FHL gained 1 cent to close the week at $4.20, while FIL shares gained 13 cents to conclude at 85 cents. 2 new individuals invested for the first time in the stock market last week, targeting FHL and FIL shares, while 2 shareholders who had invested earlier this year re-entered the market, further diversifying their investment portfolio. Consequent to the share price increases, the overall market value rose a further 0.08% and concluded the week at $1.354 billion. Similarly, the SPSC Total Return Index also gained 0.08% and ended the week at a value of 3,274.38. All December year-end listed companies have now submitted their financial statements to the SPSC, and this is now available on the SPSC website. And that's the wrap from our local stock market.
Thanks for the update, Elizabeth. On to today's exchange rates. The Chinese yuan and the American dollar weakened against our dollar, closing at 3.25 and 47 cents respectively. Closer to home, the Australian dollar remained steady through the weekend and closed at 61 cents, while the New Zealand and PNG Kina weakened to close at 66 cents and $1.31. On to the commodities market, oil rose to close at $50.60 a barrel, gold dropped closing at $1,244 an ounce, and silver rose to close at $18.22 an ounce. In growing Fiji tonight, the New World IGA supermarket chain has expanded its reach by opening its newest branch in the heart of Suva City today. The $2.2 million investment is located at the newly opened FNPF Plaza on Greig Street. A long journey, but one that's described as rewarding by the top brass.
This one has been a long journey for us. We got the possession about sometime in November due to the cyclone, bad weather, lack of workers with kind of contractors. That has delayed our project.
The new branch will offer nothing less compared to the other IGA stores.
Keeping in mind, it's slightly smaller than the Damodar City, so you can get basically all the range from what you can see at Damodar. But concept is same, service is going to be same, so I don't see any difference.
This branch employs 55 full-time employees.
The original concept was about bringing a unique international experience for Fijian shoppers, so that they could have something that was equivalent to what people experience overseas in their day-to-day shopping.
The aim of this supermarket is to ensure shoppers in Suva City receive the best in international shopping standards. And that's it from Business, now to sports, and here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. In sports after the break, the Via High School looks forward to its first Fiji finals. And Narunga football on track for VPL return. This and more coming up.
Porong na Radio Fijuan.
Bulan Arango Pina, Corviri Nandi, Autotalitaka na Barongo and a Radio Fijuan, na programa ni mas masu na mataklailai.
Oya ochone kurinambila mai bunangoru na makete hinga toka kwe video talitakini na Barongo na Radio Fijuan kini na Domoiviti.
Na Radio Fijuan na Domoiviti na vonga ni BNN.
The Via High School looks forward to making its debut at the Coca-Cola Games later this month. As a formality, the school from Laos will compete in a depleted Maritime Zone competition next weekend before gracing the Fiji finals. Vashnil Prasad has more.
They're up and going, and it's a good start from...
The Via High School has beaten all odds to make it into the Fiji finals this year.
They have to provide $100 each. And also support from the communities. We are able to come to this year's Coca-Cola Games.
The Lao-based school has only 4 athletes as they prepare to make their bow at Laudala.
Concentrating on the middle distance, we have 400 meters and 800. And also we have one javelin girl that will be participating in the senior girls javelin.
9 zones have so far submitted their entries as of last Saturday when entries closed officially.
Kids have trained. They've been training all this while, and it would be very unfair if we now allow them to continue simply because of a little hiccup. So I'm hoping that they will be coming in today or tomorrow.
Fiji Secondary Schools Athletics Association is expecting 150 schools and more than 2,000 athletes to take part this year.
But one thing I can tell you is that there would be more schools coming in this year. Because last year there were a couple of zones that sent in only minimum schools from their zone because of Cyclone Winston. But they've now come back again, and I hope that the 2017 Coca-Cola Games will be bigger and better.
The competition will be held from 20th to the 22nd of this month as schools gear up to dethrone Jasper Williams and Maris Brothers High as the reigning champions. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team will be grateful to have their line-breaking speedster Choeli Lutumai Langi back in the fold for Hong Kong. The Nananga football side is adamant on returning to the Vodafone Premier League. The Stallions ended Tailevu Naita series' unbeaten record in the Senior League with a 2-0 win at Lawanga Park yesterday. The win has reignited the goal of playing with the big boys once again next season. Rohit Deo reports.
The former Premier League side knew they needed a win to keep alive its chances of promotion. After a goalless first half, the home side opened the scoring early in the second spell. Team President Tiko Matawalu says the win has reignited their campaign.
We needed this win. We knew that Tailevu Naita Siri beat Navua last week, and the fact that we lost to Navua, we are desperate for the win today.
Tailevu Naita Siri still leads the standings with 12 points and will not give up without a fight.
Hats off to the Nandro players for giving us a tough match today.
In other matches played in the senior division yesterday, Lamithan Vatukola 10-3, Senganga and Bua played to a 0-all draw, while Savu Savu edged Taviuni 3-2. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Crusaders have extended its winning run in this season's Super Rugby to 6 matches after a 41-22 away win over the Waratahs yesterday. Roy Krishna's Wellington Phoenix football side defeated Melbourne Victory 3-0 in A-League competition last night. The win keeps alive the Phoenix's chances of qualifying for the playoffs. Now to our play of the day. South Africa's star back Willie le Roux butchered a certain try of the weekend for the London Wasps in its match against Leinster. Wasps were down 8-3 in the 24th minute when le Roux produced an absolute blunder, dropping the ball over the try line after showboating with a huge dive. The Wasps went on to lose the match 32-17. That's it from sports this evening. Angie joins you with a weather update later on, and in our new media segment after the break, a sneak peek at what's being dubbed the Master application, which will roll out its services in Fiji soon. That's coming up.
Porong na Radio Fijuan.
Bulan Arango Pina, Corviri Nandi, Autotalitaka na Barongo and a Radio Fijuan, na programo ni mas masu na mataklaylay.
Oya wachone kurina bila mai bunagoro na makete hinga toka kwe do tale takini na barorongo na Radio Fiji 1 gene na domo ibiti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na domo ibiti na vonga ni BNN.
It's been called a master application, a one-stop shop that allows you to communicate from direct calls to emails to finding out the latest merchandise. One Smart Star has been testing its services in Fiji since last year with several companies. From world-renowned organizations to local businesses, the app, which was recently licensed here, is expected to roll out its services soon. Co-founder and international CEO David Sussin says the service is already available in over 60 countries.
You cannot have on your phone application for your bank, application for the hotel, application for the airlines company. How many applications? So here it's one application, but actually all the information sitting in Amazon server. So you click, it's go to the service and you collect also. In my phone it's save nothing, zero. So when you're talking about my bank to go to the account, nothing in my phone. Everything going to the bank, website, to their cyber, to their security.
It's weather time now with Angie.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather World. It's the start of your new week, which means it's time to shake off our weekend. I bet most of us didn't want to get out of our beds in the morning just because the weather was just the one to sleep in. But gradually, all that rain stopped and our old friend sunshine warmed most parts of Fiji. Now let's check out what the day was like in the west. It was partly cloudy, but sunny periods made a show and temps were in the low 30s. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, it was sunny with cool breezes, but there is high chance of showers by later in the afternoon. And up in Vanuatu, there were few showers with more expected by overnight. At sea, easterly winds 20 to 25 knots. It will be gusty at times with rough seas. And for the tides, the next high tide tomorrow morning will be at 12:07 with a low tide at 6:08. Sunrise is such a beauty, so be sure to catch tomorrow's sunrise at 6:09. Also tomorrow, it will be dry and less muggy, but as we get into the evening period, we will have heavy showers. On to tomorrow's temps, Nandi and Lautoka will have highs of 31. Looking further on to Wednesday, it's looking good as it will be dry in most places with some sunny spells and scattered showers. And that, Jackie, is FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked, should drunkards sleeping on streets be arrested?
I think drunkards should be taken to police. Street is not a place to sleep. They should go home.
Yes, because they got houses, they should go home and sleep. Because if they sleep in town, they can be robbed and they can be killed by someone.
I think they should be arrested so they can learn their lesson. If they are left like that, they'll create fear to the public.
Tonight in the world of the weird and the wonderful, we take a look at a historic cave. The majestic Gurugale Cave in Iran is 13 kilometers long and one of the longest water caves of the world. Recapping the main stories, FRA looks at materials being used for roadworks, need to regulate social media, says human rights body, and nursing hopefuls told to meet standards. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, and first the results from last week, we asked, should a train system be put in place to curb peak hour traffic? A massive 87% were in favour. This week we are asking, should stern action be taken against drunkards on streets? Visit our FBC website to answer. Now, before we go on to today's shot of the day, Tomasi Mboa captured this tornado in the Mamanuthas on Friday afternoon. The show was unique for Fiji and captured attention. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. Until next time from the team and I, good night.
कमल रोशनी है, हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन तापुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन तापुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तवराबा में रहता हूँ, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.